Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled and very educational episode of Campfire Tales. As always, we got Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great.
Jeff, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Let's say you got kidnapped by a fighting pit. In D&D, like they had the fighting pit. Sometimes they kidnap people.
Or in history.
In history,
Yeah.
they enslave, make them fight in the fighting pits.
Yeah,
Let's just say you get in the fighting pit, you're ready to fight, and a pregnant woman walks in.
Okay.
Are you going to be concerned because you're going to think she has twice the amount of strength? Because since she has a baby in her, that means she has the strength of two people.
Is she going to fight me? And I got to fight this lady?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's a real concern,
that she has a strength of two people because she's pregnant?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
Well,
one in, an eighth or whatever, but because babies aren't full people yet. So
what if it's
Wasn't
twins?
that Dwight's quote?
Yeah.
He
That's right.
absorbed his twin and says, now I have the strength of a full-grown man and an
and an infant.
What if she's carrying twins?
Well, that's bad news, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Also, we have Jaime. How are you doing, Jaime?
Doing okay.
Jaime, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
Let's say you live in the jungle,
Okay.
and one day a god
Sounds about right.
yeah, and a god comes to you and says, "Hey, you're pretty cute. Let's date." So you start dating this god, right?
Okay.
And
I like this.
let's say you had a son, and you're like, "Well, I could
Oh, never mind. That wouldn't happen.
hang out." Well, let's just say hypothetically, you're like, "I could hang out with my son," or it can be like, "Well, I'm dating a god, so I don't really have anything to do with you," and people frown upon that. You are punished. Are you going to want to seek vengeance because you're punished for abandoning your child?
Wait, I'm sorry. I abandoned my child, which sounds like
to date a
but
god.
then, wait, I'm sorry. Go back. I thought I was dating the god before I had a child.
No, you had the child first.
Oh, I had a child.
Yep.
I start dating a god.
Yep.
I abandoned my child
Correct.
for this god. And then what happened? I get bad. I'm
People frown upon it and you're punished.
I'm
Yeah,
punished.
apparently it's a dirtbag god.
It's
Are
what is
you
the
gonna-
question?
Are you going to want to seek vengeance because you're getting in trouble because all you did, like, you abandoned your kid, but you're dating a god?
Sure, I love vengeance. Let's go for it. Fuck them all.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Wow. And finally, we have Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Doing well. How are you, Eli?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Hey, Dave, can I ask you a question?
Why, sure.
Let's just say you died in a way that made you want to seek vengeance.
Okay.
And you decide when you become Ghost Dave that instead of seeking vengeance on the people that wronged me, I'm going to seek vengeance on anybody who messes with my tombstone.
That's what he cares about?
That's what you care about. How are you going to do it? Either A, haphazard rope or chain tricks, I'll say.
Sorry.
Or B, walk around in a green shawl until you can trick them into dying unless they give you milk.
These are my only two options.
Those are your only two
for
options.
vengeance.
That is true. Yes.
Well, okay. Well, as a former scout leader, I guess I have to go with the ropes.
No, fair enough.
I'm a naughty guy.
That I hate everything that you just said about that. I hate it. Well, hey, as you know, last week we talked about what some call a movie, Drive Angry, which may be the worst story of vengeance I've ever heard. So I thought
The worst. I'm sure there's
one of the worst. So I thought, well, hey, at this campfire tale, we would talk about a awesome spirit of vengeance. Maybe not on level with the donkey lady, but an awesome one. So in my, I had a couple in mind, and in my research, I actually came across listverse.com, and they had a list of 10 vengeful ghosts in folklore and mythology. And I was like, oh, that could be interesting. After I read through it, I was like, one, I don't think they know what the definition of vengeance is.
Mhm.
Two, what could be considered vengeance, I think these are just scumbags and not actually vengeful spirits. So I changed my whole course of plan, and because I'm petty, and I'm going to present this list to you, and I want you to decide if each of these entities listed in this list verse article would be considered a spirit of vengeance or not. Because I'm not
We're
convinced
making the
they
final
are.
call.
We're making the final call.
Okay.
First off, I'm a little upset they didn't reach out to us to have us proofread this to make sure it was approved. I mean, we are the collective of the unknown. I would
Yeah,
say it
we
should
are.
be our nickname.
We are definitely Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for
Mhm.
sure.
And also, I would say scholars of our craft. Yeah.
Pettiness as a craft.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you guys are going to be the judges and jury tonight, whether each of these deserve to be considered a spirit of vengeance. Because I would argue that when I'm done presenting these to you, you will all collectively agree Donkey Lady, who was a spirit of vengeance, at least was doing it in the name of vengeance more so than any of these.
I'll give you $1 if we agree to that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, are we ready to start the first one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. The first one is
Anything to prove you wrong.
How dare you? The first one, we're coming right out of a folklore that various regions in the Appalachians claim as their own. The first vengeful quotations spirit that we're talking about is Carl Pruitt. Now, I know, Dave, you are also from the Appalachians.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard the tale of Carl Pruitt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for other two here, 1938, there was a man named Carl Pruitt who uncovered that his wife was sleeping with the neighbor in their own bed. This made him a little distraught and crazy, so he grabbed a chain that he had and proceeded to strangle his wife to death while the other man got away because he went to kill them while they were in on the act. The guy got away, and then he killed his wife, and then once he realized what he'd done, he killed himself with the same chain and died. So obviously, the family decided, well, they shouldn't be buried together, so they buried them in two separate cemeteries. Now, a lot of the locals claimed that his tombstone always looked like it had a chain in it, but they weren't sure. It just looked odd.
What do you mean? What do you mean in it?
It looked like sometimes like there was chain embedded in his tombstone.
Like in the it's not cement, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like stone
In the
Yeah.
marble.
Marble.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
And so people thought that was weird. People weren't comfortable with his grave. Well, shortly after he was buried, a boy was riding his bike, along, going for a nice little bike ride, and kind of stopped outside his cemetery and was just kind of throwing rocks and ended up hitting his stone with a rock. Didn't cause any damage. It was like a pebble. Just hit it. Well, apparently old Carl Spear didn't like that because while the boy was riding back home, he lost control and wrecked his bike as if something knocked it over. And then somehow during the bike wreck, the chain came off and wrapped around his neck and strangled him to death. Then, a few weeks later, that same boy's mother, who blamed the tombstone for killing her son, she went to that cemetery and destroyed the tombstone with an axe, which I find unlikely, but that's what they said she did.
That's the wrong tool for that job.
That's what I was thinking. Apparently, content with her work, she then went home and was hanging her clothes to dry when all of a sudden the clothesline came loose and fell and somehow wrapped around her neck and strangling her to death. And when the authorities went to the graveyard because they were told, like, they thought maybe someone was, maybe a family member or something got revenge and killed her because of what damage she did to the tombstone. When they got to the grave, there was no damage done to the tombstone. which some may say supernatural. I say, well, she tried to destroy a rock with an axe. But regardless, so because of that, people were like, the locals decided that no one should go around that cemetery, and eventually, the coal mine went underneath of it, and all the graves were destroyed, and it's all grown up now. So, but he didn't get revenge on that. So they claim because he is a spirit of vengeance.
Because he got vengeance on 2 people?
Right. He killed a boy who hit a stone with a rock, and the mother who hit it with an axe.
Who broke it.
Did not ever kill the guy who was sleeping with his wife.
Okay, that's so...
Killed his wife and the kid and the mother.
Yeah, but not the guy who was sleeping with his wife.
And Jeff, just to confirm my memory, how many people was it exactly that the donkey lady killed in all of her history?
I think it was 0.
I am not doing a body count, but my argument is I would not consider this a spirit of vengeance.
So this guy's already twice as vengeful as the donkey lady.
What is he getting revenge on?
Well, that's his stone being damaged?
His graveyard his grave being damaged? Yeah. What do you mean?
But it's not damaged.
There was no damage done to it.
Well, that's because he fixed it, so.
Exactly. He not only took care of business.
He's a ghost mason.
But he's a DIYer.
Mm-hmm. You're saying this is... you would consider Carl Pruitt a spirit of vengeance.
Yeah.
Over the donkey lady? 1,000,000,000%.
You guys are just being contrarians.
I want to ask a question as we go through all these, though.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
By definition, is a spirit of vengeance couldn't it just be one can't you be vengeful on just one random thing and it's typically still vengeance? Unless you're out and just killing for no reason. Unless I pick an innocent person and I'm just a spirit and I just kill them for no reason.
Right.
But as long as I have a motive of some sort of either revenge or tit for tat or something, it's vengeance, right? So if someone damaged his stone and he went after them.
There was no damage to the stone.
He fixed it. We already
a pebble in an axe is not going to break his stone.
Not even damage. Someone was picking on him and his property, and he got...
That's called desecrating
But
grave.
he didn't kill the guy who got away from him. He was trying to kill.
That's not the vengeance that he was going after.
Well, so he's a lazy vengeance. He's like, well...
He has priorities, actually. He cares more about his gravestone than his wife.
Yeah.
What?
By comparison... Just to get it all out on the table, the donkey lady was murdered either by being beaten to death, burned alive, or drowned in a river with her donkey.
Correct.
Didn't seek vengeance for any of that.
Well, because she was part donkey.
Came back centuries later to kick fenders.
What if she just got she was riding her donkey and they both just fell in the river and nobody actually murdered her?
Why do you think she's not letting anybody cross that bridge?
So that shows she's a helpful spirit.
I was about to say she doesn't want anybody else to
drown. Taking revenge against the bridge. No, she's taking vengeance out on the bridge.
You can't be vengeful against an inanimate object.
Yes, you can.
She's more like a crossing guard than a vengeful spirit.
She's a watch your step sign.
You're saying this guy's not vengeful because he didn't kill the guy who was sleeping with his wife, although he killed 3 other people. But she is a vengeful spirit for a bridge.
Listen. It was not confirmed that she ever killed people, but in the legend, some people went missing in the woods around the bridge.
Brother, I'm just afraid you may be pushing poo uphill tonight. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? Okay, well, all right, let's go to the next one then. Let's see what you think about the next one. The next one comes from Malaysia, and it is the vengeful spirit is called Sundel Bulong. Okay. Now, apparently, this is typically the spirit of vengeance, because you can have multiple of them, are all typically beautiful women, only beautiful women who died while pregnant. But so when she died while pregnant, they buried her. For whatever reason, the baby will dig its way out of her back and leave a hole in her back.
Nice.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is Bulbasaur. It's awesome.
Yeah. and typically when she comes back to the earth, she's dressed in a long flowing white gown and she has long black hair. They'll have long black hair that drapes down past their butt, which is just to cover up the hole that the baby came out of in her back. And no one knows where the babies go, but they crawl out of them. Apparently they're so beautiful that men cannot resist their charm. And actually, the name Sundel Bolong actually translates to prostitute with a hole in her.
Very literal.
Well, I think
Wait,
that's
why is she a
usually
prostitute?
presumed if you're a
Because
prostitute, right?
the part of the name is because these spirit of vengeances, their whole thing is to seduce men. And once they seduce a man, they castrate them and leave them to bleed to death.
I like this.
No one knew why they were seeking this vengeance.
Oh, that's what I was about.
No one knew. And then after some time, people just assumed they're like, well, maybe it was because like she was violently murdered or like her pregnancy was due to like a sexual assault or something.
Or just because like man,
Or maybe she committed suicide because she was pregnant. And so she was cursed to become a spirit of vengeance. But once again, what is she avenging?
Men. Done. Next one.
Holes in your back.
Yeah. Castrating and killing men. Kicking fenders. Move on.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even say it's like men who cheat or men who do these things. It's just anybody that's attracted to her.
Yeah. The act of procreation is the thing she's getting vengeance on. Clearly.
That's crazy. And that's a reasonable spirit of vengeance.
I didn't say reasonable. Cooler than a friggin' donkey lady. 100%.
I just think.
And if these join the Mole Kingdom, what they're called holy molies.
Oh my God.
The absolute worst. The absolute worst.
I can think of some of these things so fast while
I can't even look at you. All right. Well, you know what? This next one, I think you're going to have a harder time claiming a spirit. Well, let me ask you this. So far with the two we've talked about, are they better spirits of vengeance than Nicolas Cage and Drive Angry?
Oh.
Yes.
I
think Donkey Lady's better than Nicolas Cage. And
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Not Donkey Lady.
I won't hurt my good friend Jaime and answer, but I think we all know where I stand on that.
Well, hey, the next one, we're going to India for the Churel. Now, this is a very specific spirit of vengeance. Typically, a Churel spirit of vengeance is created.
Churel? What are you saying?
Churel. Churel. I'm pronouncing that.
Yeah, that's
right.
how you. No, but that's
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, so it's very specific how these vengeance of spirit or these spirits of vengeance are created. Typically, when a pregnant woman dies,
more pregnant people
during the festival of Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of lights.
Diwali.
Yeah,
or Diwali, excuse me.
You watched The Office. Come on.
That's true. And they die during childbirth. That's it. They don't have to be murdered. Nothing. They just died during childbirth during the Hindu festival of lights. They come back as vampire-like creatures who's bent on getting revenge just because they're bitter due to them and their unborn child's death. But it doesn't say the child has to die. So just they die.
Well, if they're pregnant and they die,
no, it's during childbirth.
No, during childbirth, so the baby can live.
So it doesn't say the child has to die. Just she died during childbirth. So she comes back just assuming her kid's dead.
When she comes back, is she killing a specific type of person?
Well, it's funny you asked that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I didn't mean to. No. I thought you were done, and we were like talking about it. So
when they come back, this person has turned into a spirit of vengeance of the Churel because their feet turn 180 degrees.
Oh,
which allows them to walk backwards because what they do is they walk backwards and mesmerize their victims with their eyes.
Wait, and you just your feet need to be reversed to walk backwards?
Why?
Apparently, hers does.
But your eyes are still forward, right?
That is correct. Yes. You walk backwards. So instead of just like, I mean, you can walk backwards with your feet the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine too.
Yeah.
I mean, either way.
But usually, and not only does it with their eyes, but they normally have a cloth over their eyes, but their gaze is so strong that you can see them through the cloth. And they'll basically lead their victim to a secluded location to drain them of their blood because they're basically a vampire. Now, here is who she's getting revenge on. Her victims are her own family as punishment for not taking care of them properly during their pregnancy.
Okay. Makes sense.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
But what if they didn't do anything?
That's why she died. They didn't
That's
take
the
care of her.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it was just like one of those like freak medical things? Like they took care of her, she's fed. So was she like she's just being an asshole now?
Yeah. Ash says vengeful spirit. Done.
You heard it here first, folks.
Vengeful spirit.
Wow. I can't even. Wow.
You know what she's really looking for in this vengeful task that she's taken on for all of eternity?
I'm
What?
ready.
Sorry.
Just the worst. Absolute worst. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Does she attack like rickshaws that go over bridges or anything like that?
No.
Well, then she's better than
Boom,
the
roasted.
Lady, so.
Monkey lady.
Here's the other thing too. Typically, they come back very quickly after death, and they'll attack people for not meticulously caring or respecting them during burial. But like,
yeah,
they're still getting ready for the burial, so like, she doesn't even give them time to finish it.
well, she probably knows.
She could tell.
I mean,
yeah. She's like, this is garbage.
Yeah, this is BS.
You guys have a odd. Once again, we go this thing. Where you guys
An odd common sense. Is that what? Like,
yes. Like it's their fault someone passed away during a pregnancy. Which, yeah, sometimes maybe, but sometimes it just be like they were very well taken care of, but maybe they had other health issues that.
well, I'm assuming that
No.
she doesn't. They don't come back unless they were poorly cared for.
It doesn't say that.
Oh, see,
Well, that's
yeah,
what I'm gonna put a parenthetical citation
Wow.
on that. And
I'm
that's
with
what
you.
I'm
Because it clearly, you've already said that it only happens to women who have tragically died in childbirth during Diwali.
yeah.
So their family's out there hooting and hollering and
just celebrating.
getting drunk, going
Mhm.
to parties. She's at home birthing a child all by herself. They get what they get.
Yep.
Wow. I just would like to point out that you all have a knack for finding
The
justifications for the craziest things.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought for once we'd all be in together, being like, this is crazy. And you guys are just.
You
blowing my
really
mind.
thought that
I
for
didn't.
once.
I knew as soon as I said
the donkey lady.
I didn't like this article that you like, it was automatically going to be one
That
against.
we didn't love it.
You really got to find something to be worse than a donkey lady. Like we talked about that demon with the eye in his butt, and he's better than the donkey lady.
He wasn't even a
Like,
spirit of vengeance.
It doesn't matter.
Jeff
Like,
loves
just,
him though. He
you know,
always
We defended a 4-foot frog with a spark. in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you
You got to dig a little deeper, dude.
you got to
That's
find
true.
something just worse
That's
than
true.
a donkey lady to
All right, you know,
bring us
For fuck's
around.
sake, I love a pig that just cries.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
like-
You know?
that's true. All right, you know what? All right, how about this? Let's go to Japan.
Hey,
And we're going to talk about the Onryo. Which I know I butchered that name. Onryo is a spirit of vengeance that's considered a malevolent ghost, which comes back. Which here's where this gets a little messed up. But they come back to the land of the living to right the wrongs they experienced in their lives. They can be men or women. But when they say right their wrongs, typically they torment their families and former lovers, which brings them great pleasure, trying to drive them to commit suicide. So they're not even trying to right their own wrongs, they're just tormenting their own family. Because and
they
typically
wouldn't come back unless they had a wrong to right. Like that's the point you're missing in both of these so far is there's wrongs to right. Like
hold on.
they're not saying they just come back and they're like, well, maybe there's something wrong. Like,
let me
mess with
let
yeah.
me finish. There's one more sentence there. typically it's found the reason they come back is they just want to see who was mournful at their funeral and who wasn't, and that's who they torment.
Yeah,
I mean, I would do that too. Come on.
They that just because they're petty doesn't mean they're not petty than the donkey lady.
Yeah, of all the people on this podcast, Eli, you're telling me that if you died and then you had the preternatural capability to come back, and if you found out anybody in your circle just didn't give a fuck that you were gone, you would be fine with that. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but I would also not consider myself a spirit of vengeance. I would consider myself a spirit of pettiness.
God, I think you have literally
titled yourself as a spirit of vengeance several times on this podcast.
I have done that, but that's for different reasons.
That's different, Dave.
And then the other thing about them, right, is it's often found that there are some stories of them actually coming back because they were abused or whatever, and like they were actually getting vengeance.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
But most of the times it's found that their rage is normally channeled at family members who had nothing to do with their deaths or caused them no harm. And in fact, they'll punish people who have no reason to be punished. So they're not the spirit of vengeance.
Now, you don't talk about petty. How about a spirit that scuffs up your car if you drive over a bridge? Like, you know?
Doesn't know you from Sam Hill.
Doesn't know anybody.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. I just can't believe. You know what? I'm feeling a little petty now. If I come back as spirit of vengeance, I know 3 people. No,
we've been on your list for a while. So
like you go over that bridge, you're gonna have to pay your deductible. That's for sure. Like
just for scientific reasons, Eli. My promise to you is, if you ever die, I'll just go on with my life like I don't. And we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I just want to say, you will never take another shit in peace. That's all I'm going to say.
I want to say this because it's triggering now to me when you say, and the next one comes from Japan. I just want to go on record, and I don't know how y'all feel. Consistently, Japan has the best cryptid.
Yeah, they're
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, they're consistently solid. So
yeah.
Attaboy to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's see how you feel about the next one. We're going to Thailand, to the Phi Tai Hong. Now, this one makes sense as spirit of vengeance a little bit. Typically, these spirit of vengeance are created from people who suffer excessively cruel deaths or are left unburied without proper funeral rites.
Wow, that's good reasons to be pissed off.
Come on.
Makes sense. It says that the strongest form of these spirits of vengeance are pregnant women, as they have the strength of 2 thanks to them being pregnant.
That's a lot of pregnant vengeance.
1 in an 8th. You know?
Well, they're seeing it 2. They're counting both as 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, here's where it gets weird. Typically, these are created either through cruel or extreme deaths, or natural disasters, which seems kind of weird because it's not like someone went out there is like, hey, I'm gonna cause a tsunami to come and kill you. So like, I think the natural disaster one's a little, a little shaky. Let's see. And then also, young people who don't go visit shrines, are typically become these too. So
any shrine? Wait, what?
Like they're like the holy shrines, like they were expect to visit shrines. Well, if young people didn't go visit, they could become a spirit of vengeance forever.
When they die, you're saying?
Yep. Okay. Now,
it's very different from the pregnant. Okay.
Here's where I don't know if I'd count that as spirit of vengeance, right? Their whole thing is to just try to come across any mortal person. They kill them because they hope that if they just kill somebody, they'll be forced to take their place if they kill them cruelly so that they can go rest.
Wait.
Are they successfully killing people? under this theory? I mean, in the legend?
Well, it doesn't say that. It just says that I've not seen like an article like, hey, 3 people died. We think it was this ghost. It just said that their whole thing is just to try to kill a mortal, the first one they come across, because then they'll be forced to become the new spirit of vengeance, and then they go rest. So is that really vengeance they're taking?
Replacing their.
But
let me ask you: did they bang on hoods?
It does not appear so. No.
Oh, okay. Well,
but they're actually out there attempting murders. Apparently,
in the 14th century, this was such a concern that innocent people were going to get murdered by the spirit of vengeance just so they could replace them. That a law was passed where if someone you knew died, you would have to keep their body unburied for a couple days, because they hope that then they would just go kill the murderer so that the government wouldn't have to find them.
That's actually that's a solid plan, actually. Like,
but not really, because they're not like hunting the people who wronged them. They just kill the first person they come across.
Well, no, like if they were killed by somebody, that would supersede, them everything else. Like,
was this new legislation called
like,
the Ghost Rider Protocol?
No, it was the judgment. It was included in the collection of laws known as the Judgments of King Mungray.
I mean, that makes perfect sense, because you're assuming that they're just everyone that gets killed is just gonna get, but it depends on how they're killed. If they're murdered by somebody, that's gonna supersede like that. They're 100% gonna go try to find the person who murdered.
Well, once again, you may think that, but the problem is they are usually tethered to the place they died.
Well,
so that's why they just wait for the first person to come to the area and they murder them.
Was it 60% of murders happen by somebody you know or something? I don't know whatever the statistic is.
Yeah, but like, what if you like okay, to your point, like someone murdered you like in the woods, and then you're just like, well, first hitchhiker comes. I guess that's what I got to do.
Because he's not the murderer, so they're not going to kill him. What are you talking about?
They literally will kill the first person that comes across them, so that way they can rest, and that person
you're just
comes
making stuff up. You just keep changing it.
You keep changing the story. I said it 10 minutes ago. You're not even listening to me.
I'll be honest. You're right.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, are we counting this as a spirit of vengeance?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they're get revenge.
They're upset for being dead. I mean, that seems.
Wait, you're saying they were violently murdered and or left unburied?
And
they come back to kill people. That's not vengeance.
No, they're just they're not killing people in the name of revenge. They're killing people so they can go to rest. And that person's got to take my place.
Okay, then define what vengeance is. Isn't that exactly what vengeance is? To seek justice so you can go on in peace?
You're turning words around there, guy.
Using definitions, Dave.
Using logic, Dave, bitch.
That's not logic. Listen, like vengeance, yes, it's getting justice, but it's justice for the wrongs that happen against you, not just, well, I'm tired of floating here, so I'm going to kill the first son of a bitch comes by so I can go sleep. That's not vengeance.
Justice against the wrongs that were done against you. They were murdered and or left unburied. I think
Let me ask you: is there anybody on this list that doesn't kill people?
We can shorten this whole
podcast. They're all better than the donkey lady. Then,
well, hold on. You say that. Here's the next one. All right, we're going to an area around between the areas basically between like the shores of like Britain and Scotland, like the area in between, because we're going to talk about the Green Lady. Now, the Green Lady, also known as a Glaistig, is a spirit who typically hangs around the water, who has the top half of a woman and the bottom half of a goat.
Nice.
So a female satyr.
Yeah.
Or a female Pan.
Well, spirit of vengeance. Her human top half is her skin is gray. She has long blonde hair that covers most of her human part. And then her bottom half is goat. She also wears a green
pants, Eli.
She wears a green robe because she likes to hide her goat part because she's embarrassed by it.
Yeah, well, she's sensitive about it.
But it's also weird because she's able to shapeshift and take on like various shapes like animals and people. So why be embarrassed of your goat legs and wear a green robe when you can just appear as whoever the hell you want to be?
Maybe it takes a lot out of her, so she doesn't want to do it all the time.
No, maybe she's not embarrassed, and it's just a way to get closer to the people she wants to mess with.
That's the way she wants to be, in another term.
Yeah. See?
Now, some say she was a noble woman who was murdered by one of her servants, and stuffed into a chimney. Others say they don't really know who she is or why she's seeking vengeance. All they know is that she tends to try to lure men to their deaths by singing till they get close enough to kill her. She also gets vengeance she'll throw rocks at you as you walk by.
That's ignorant.
Will try to get people lost. Or if they're around and they're talking about their misfortunes, she'll laugh at you. Now, this is a spirit of vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
But people are not really afraid of her because she really likes a glass of milk. So if you just put milk in the area, she won't bother you because she'll go drink the milk. So people aren't really concerned about her getting vengeance because they're like, we'll just carry some milk on you.
So everybody in this area just has a jar of milk with them?
Apparently at the time, they're like, oh, if you're going that area where she's at, I'll just take some milk. Like, okay.
Like the cucumbers for the other things.
Yeah.
Or
Kappas. So, and you're saying she's better than Donkey Lady.
I mean, she's definitely a spirit of inconvenience, but like
literally a glass of milk stops her. There's nothing that stops the Donkey Lady.
I like that she just gets people lost. Like that's
that's her vengeance. I might throw rocks you.
A pretty obnoxious and vengeful thing. Like getting people fucking lost. Like
getting someone lost isn't revenge.
Like she created early map quests. Like remember when it like would get you to a point and then it would just kind of leave you? It'd be like, okay, now figure out the rest of it.
Yeah,
you're like, okay.
Remember you had to print out the directions from map quests?
Like,
12 pages to go 10 miles.
Turn it while you're trying to drive and then like it just stops. You're like, all right, it's here somewhere.
Like, shit, it's around here someplace.
My favorite was like when Garmin's first came out for cars.
Yeah.
And anytime you drove anywhere with tall buildings, it would just start spinning your car all around the thing. You're like, I don't know where I'm going now.
Oh, and that was like before any of them had traffic or anything. So like they were just a route. It's just a route. So like,
and like they'd be like, oh, it'll only take an hour. And you're like, oh, great.
Like 7 because.
How did we ever survive?
Oh God,
I don't even know.
Before MapQuest, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You just had to know. You just had to know how to get somewhere.
Yeah, an actual map.
Yeah.
And normally you would even like take a Sharpie to trace your path, but then it never failed. At one point you checked the map and you couldn't find your Sharpie mark.
It was
never failed. But hey, so are you guys really counting this as a spirit of vengeance?
Sure.
First off, her servant killed her, so she's taken out and just got men walking around.
Vengeance.
But if you give her milk, she's like, all right, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable.
There was nothing to stop the Donkey Lady.
I like the cover jib.
Just her not doing anything. Like
putting dents in your car.
Stopping someone has nothing to do with vengeance. She's just a considerate, like she just wants some milk and like she just will take a break when you give her something delightful. I would too. Give me some ice cream and I might stop my vengeful acts for a little bit also.
You get a pass as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You give me ice cream, I say, okay, you get a pass, but the next guy's not so lucky.
They just so happen to find out what keeps her from being vengeful. Not
you mean
in her vengeful.
In her deep vengeance like abilities of throwing pebbles at you when you walk by.
What was the first part? What was the very first one?
She tried to sing and murder people to death.
Well, that's weird.
But no one was really concerned about it. They're like, just take milk with you.
It's weird. I see. Now we're editing. We're actually editing your story.
The fact that all it does is take milk, I doubt she murdered anybody.
What if you don't have any milk?
If you're going to that area, you're like,
murdered.
I'm taking a glass of milk with me because like I know she's
What
here.
if you don't know about her?
What if you forgot?
Yeah. Or what if you're like
what if there's a green goat lady?
What if you're a tourist and you're just hanging out? You're just like passing through.
And you don't think anybody would be like,
what if they don't like you? And they're,
But if you're a tourist, how do you know they don't like you?
Because you don't talk to anybody. So you just decide to go down whatever road she's on or whatever,
I do know why she wears a skirt now to cover up her goat legs.
Why is that?
Because she's lactose intolerant.
Oh my God, you're the worst. Shame on you. All right. Well, hey, let's go to Central America to talk about La Ciguanaba. I butchered the shit out of that.
You sure did.
Now, it was La Ciguanaba is a spirit of vengeance for this lady known as Sihuet, which translates to beautiful woman. She found the Aztec god Tlaloc, fell in love, and they started dating. But she was a terrible mother and would just leave.
This is my story.
Yep. And would just leave her son to go on dates with her godly lover.
Sounds good.
The one part I left out of your story, Jamie, that happened here was that she never told Tlaloc that she had a kid. So then when Tlaloc found out that she was like abandoning her child to go on dates with him, she cursed her. And the curse consisted of when someone was far away from her, she was the most beautiful woman they ever saw. But as they got closer, she would appear uglier and uglier.
This is Clueless. She's a Monet or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they changed her name to La Ciguanaba, which translates to horrible woman. He then gave her son immortality and told him to run around, and she was cursed with having to try to search for her son.
Her immortal son.
Yep. Now,
running around.
Here's where the vengeance comes in.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I feel like every time you're reading these, we should hear the Reading Rainbow song. Continue.
Because it's story time.
What do you mean? Do you memorize this stuff? Now, so here's where it gets the vengeance comes in, right? So basically what she likes to do is stand naked in rivers and lakes and wash her clothes.
Don't we know?
When people see her real far away, they're like, wow, there's a beautiful naked lady washing her clothes in the river. And then they'll in a hurry, try to get real close to her, not paying attention. And then all of a sudden they get up on her. She's very ugly and it scares them to death.
There we go. She says, got him.
She's so ugly. They die of fright.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Can I just do my laundry in peace?
And then sometimes if a mother brings her child to wash her clothes, she'll try to lure the child into the water to drown to punish the mother.
Wow.
How is this a spirit of vengeance? What does she get revenge on?
Because her son ran away. So she's just angry.
She was a bad mother.
Well, I mean, that's for CYS or whatever it is to determine.
Child protective CPS, child protective
CPS, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think most people that seek vengeance are necessarily holding the moral high ground. I don't know why you're concerned with her being good.
Yeah, like what do you?
Well, no, I'm not saying that's more high ground, but she's not getting vengeance on anything. She's just like, well, I fucked up. Now everybody's gonna hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what though? Once again, people aren't too terribly afraid of her because they figured out a way to stop her and chase her away.
Give her laundry.
No, if you see her and you bite down on metal and say a prayer, she runs away.
Ew. Okay, like a fork or something?
Just metal.
Any metal.
Just metal. It just says bite on metal.
If you have braces, that's a rough day.
Well, you just bite. You just bite because you already got metal in your mouth.
It has to be on it though.
Or overlap your teeth. Yeah. So like your teeth
biting your own braces. That sounds horrible.
Well,
I don't even think it's possible.
It's that or be scared to death by an ugly woman, Dave. If you're after there, I can bite my own braces or die of the sight of this woman. Bite your own braces.
I'm just saying that some of us are at an age that if I was walking through the woods and I saw a naked, beautiful woman in the river, I'm not going anywhere near either way.
Yeah.
It's nothing but troubles.
Yeah.
If you live by those wise words, you'll be fine either way.
I just think I'd be like, well, this is a very odd sight because who washes their clothes in a river in 2024 butt naked?
Sun's out, food's out. You know my policy.
That's true. That's true. All right. So,
yeah, she's better than the donkey lady.
In every way.
Literally. Yeah.
The whole thing is she's just ugly.
She dated a god.
Beautiful from far away. First of all.
Yeah.
At least she's hot from far away.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Stand a little. Find that line. Like, it's
There's
like
no
you get,
way
like,
you're mistaking the donkey lady for being beautiful far away.
No, it's just like half donkey, half person.
And if you get close, you're dead.
Yeah.
She's the full package.
Wow. All right. You know what? We'll go to the next one. And actually, I'll be honest, this was probably the only one on this list that I liked. That I'm like, this would be a cool movie.
Who am I playing?
All the characters. So this is the Navajo tribe. This is one of their lores and legends. This spirit of vengeance is known as the Chindi. Basically, they are a byproduct of either a violent death or dying during a war. And all the bad parts about the person are what become the spirit of vengeance, none of the good. So basically, the more of an asshole you were in life, that's the only part of you that becomes this spirit.
So it's a Jägermeister ghost. Like, it just amplifies the worst parts of who you are.
Jäger, I just don't like Jägermeister.
Who does?
There's
I think you've made very clear decisions if you're drinking
I've seen people
Jägermeister.
who've drank it out of the bottle, and I'm like, it's black licorice.
Those people weren't expecting to have a good night. They were expecting to burn the world to the ground.
That is true. Now, typically, there's two ways that these people will come back because they just don't automatically come back from dying a violent death or dying during war. Either A, they have to be buried improperly, and that'll cause them to come back for some vengeance. Or B, when a person dies, if you say their name, automatically brings them back to the Chindi.
Wait. If you just say my name when I die.
Yep. That's why it is Navajo custom to never say a person's name after they die.
Oh, wait. Sorry. So if you say it when they die or at any point
after they die.
So you can never reference your loved one because they might
not by their name.
Yeah. Okay.
And also because if they bury them properly, if someone, they will not let at the time, I'm sure with modernization it may not be the case always, but at the time, they were so concerned about the burying properly that they would take people outside to die, so they wouldn't die in the house with fear that their spirit would consider that a proper burial.
What if
somebody's having a heart attack as you're dragging them out of the house into the yard?
What if I give someone a nickname and then I reference them by the nickname? After
that's not their real name.
That's like a loophole.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's so
because the reason they're so afraid of them, when these spirits come, they'll terrorize your entire family, not just the immediate family, but for decades. And like the most famous tale of one of these Chindis was the Long Salt family, who their family had been tormented by one for over 100 years.
Nice.
They can be like I said, they'll embed themselves in a house or possessions. So like that's like they'll just stay there. And also it believes if you wrong a medicine man, they can curse you to become a Chindi. So a lot of people, that's why they're really nice to their medicine men. But basically they act like poltergeists. Like they can fuck you up, fuck your house up, make it where you don't sleep, throw shit around, make noises, and just generally make your house not a good time.
Just bad behavior all around.
Yeah. And I was like, that would actually be kind of a cool movie.
Well, when this that we've already talked about, when Eli dies this unfortunate death soon, we know that he's going to be playing Destiny's Child at his funeral. Say my name. Just be daring us.
One of you will slip up. One of you will. Or maybe I'll do something like notes the end. I'll like sneak all this stuff where you just get all these random postcards with my name on it. Because once, one of you go, what? Talking all this stuff from Eli. And then you'll hear it in the background.
I mean, I already know the 100% way to get haunted by Eli for all of eternity if you died before me is for me to come to your funeral at the viewing, stand up before your family and friends, and just read aloud the script of Antlers.
The whole thing.
We could act it out.
We'll act it. Even better. Yeah. Well, as we stand up and we say to honor Eli, we want to act out his favorite movie of all time. I heard that he hates Lord of the Rings, so he wanted us to perform this piece from Antlers.
No, not only will you all suffer, I will spread the suffering through your bloodlines for generations to come.
That's fine. I don't have kids. My bloodline's ending right here.
Your sister, your parents.
Oh, like
it'll
my
be the
dogs.
grudge, is what he's saying.
Yeah, your dogs. None of you will know.
Oh, not my dogs. Now
now you're
taking it too far.
None of you will know peace.
I'm just imagining, no matter how dead you are, you're coming out of that casket at that moment.
It won't
and we'll bury you with a director's cut of Antlers
in
your coffin.
The next day it'll be like that. It'll be like that scene, like Halloween, where they're like, my tombstone was broken or like gone, like top half was like broken off, and like their casket's gone. And they're like, what? Like, casket's gone. And then you all will know great suffering and pain
for many generations.
Oh, there will not be a peaceful moment till the day you die. And even then,
we're going to inscribe the coffin with a meaningful quote from the movie. I just, got to find the right one.
I just love the mental image of, obviously, Jamie's going to play the teacher. I'll play the little kid. Jeff's going to play the brother, the sheriff.
Yeah. That'll work out.
And then we'll have Ash dressed up as the Wendigo.
Not a moment of peace for any of you for the remainder of your days.
You know what? It might be worth it. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah,
this is probably a YouTube video.
Pain and suffering. Hey, let's go back to Japan, shall we?
Okay.
Woohoo!
Now, Dave, you said all their ghosts were cool.
I did.
You might change your mind on this.
Okay.
This next Spirit of Vengeance, which once again, I don't really know what they're getting vengeance for. But this is the Funayuri. They are only spirits of vengeance that affect the sea. Typically, they are created because they died at sea. And they have a couple powers. One, they'll make a bunch of ghost ships look like they're floating around the ocean to confuse real boats so that they get veered off course and get lost. Or sometimes they'll act like somebody who's like stuck in the water, so a boat picks them up. And then when they get on the boat, if it is a big boat, they'll ask for a ladle. They'll give them the ladle, in which they turn it upside down, at which point water magically falls out of the ladle until the whole boat fills up with enough water that it sinks. If it's just like a little like rowboat, they'll ask for a ladle, and then they'll proceed to ladle out of the ocean into the boat to make it sink because it doesn't require as much water. That's it.
That's a dick move.
That's all they do.
Like, they're just like looking at you ladling water in your boat. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty hardcore. Like,
they're not getting vengeance on nobody.
That's the sea they're getting vengeance on.
How are they getting vengeance on the sea?
They just are. I mean, what do you mean? How are they?
They're not hurting the sea.
They're polluting the sea with ships.
Okay. I don't even know. Your ability to justify. I don't even know. Yeah. So that's all they do. They either turn the ladle upside down and water just pours out of it and sinks a big boat.
Let me save the rest of your list. Are they part donkey?
No.
Then you can say they're better than Donkey Lady.
Even the people who just shovel water into your boat, which no one does anything.
Because he kills people. Like, they kill people.
I would just be like, stop that. I would knock the ladle out of their hand.
Now, if they just like come up and dent your boat a little bit, all right. Well, no, they drown people in boats. And I'm assuming that when they confuse them, they make them wreck into the shoreline and die.
No, they just get lost out at sea and not know where they're at.
Then they're going to die because they're lost at sea.
Wow. I don't even know. Okay. Well, of all the things we've talked about across the border, all the Japanese lore, you're not going to say this is the lamest one?
Why?
All the Japanese
they still keep you.
Why? Yeah, literally, they are a force of nature.
All they do is use a ladle to put water in a boat.
To sink ships?
Even if you got a little rowboat, do you know how long it would take them to ladle water in enough for it to sink?
That's the torture of it. Like, you can't stop it.
There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it.
I would smack that ladle right out of their hand.
It's a ghost ladle. You can't.
Exactly.
No, they have to take your ladle. They ask you for the ladle.
When they touch it, it becomes a ghost ladle.
Apparently, on boats at the time,
everybody had a ladle.
It was called a. Hold on. It was called a hizuaku, which was like a ladle type thing that was found on most boats in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there.
Yeah, so just knock it out of their hand. Be like, what are you doing?
You can't do that. You can't. What do you just knock it out of their hand? Like, what do you?
Yeah, it's a real ladle.
They've got all the time in the world. You knock it out of their hand, they pick it up, they put more water in your boat.
They're like, oh, that'll teach. They're like, that'll teach me you're dumb, and then they just keep ladling this.
Well, why would you give it back to them? Just I take it. Like, no, stop it.
You can't take it. They're a ghost. It's like it doesn't come out of their hand.
Wow. So you're saying that you guys all agree?
Obviously,
this is like the frog
Japan.
Sparkler. It is bound to him. It's
obviously, they're from Japan, so they know martial arts. Okay.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Well, yeah, but this is
obviously why George Bunnyman Washington kept his boat in the woods.
Exactly.
That's why he kept his on dry land.
He says, "You can't sink me."
Yeah.
I
ladle man. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to you guys. Well, hey, we have one more. I already know I lost this game, but we got one more.
You know what? In all fairness, you've yet to present anybody who's not as lame as the Donkey Lady. Everybody on this
first
list
off,
kills
my
people.
Argument.
Everybody on this list kills people.
Well, no, hold on. You're changing. I never said whether or not they were lamer. I said the Donkey Lady was a better spirit of vengeance.
No, she's not.
I mean, she was getting revenge. She's like, I don't want people crossing this bridge.
How did she get revenge?
But she was murdered on the bridge.
She's scuffing up some paint. That's not revenge.
That's not revenge.
This is us being petty, but legitimately, logically.
Yeah, that's not
these
revenge.
are better spirits.
The definition of revenge.
Her vengeance was clear and actual vengeance. Some of these are just like, I just don't like that I have goat legs. But if I drink milk, I won't do anything to you. Lame.
The only thing I have to say to you is lured to their death. So
wow. But the boat one ladled me to death.
Yeah,
drowned.
But there's no vengeance involved. It's just like you're just gonna die at sea.
The whole boat's gonna die. What do you mean? There's no vengeance?
What are they getting revenge on?
Because they died at sea.
Yeah,
but that's not their fault.
So they're pissed off. They're dead.
They're taking vengeance.
Yeah, like what do you?
Wow, I can't even look at you guys.
I think you need to get a dictionary and look up vengeance. That's what I think.
I think you know what? Hold on. Vengeance.
I am less concerned with the constant threat of vengeance Eli's get against me.
Punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for an injury or wrong.
Boom.
Yeah,
wrong.
They died at sea, and they're punishing.
Wronged is anything basically.
In that case, they would be hitting the ocean to death, not just people sailing in it.
No.
What?
Wow. All right, wait. We got one place to get to. We're going to Venezuela. This one
will be the one, Eli. I feel.
Listen, this one makes absolutely no sense.
Excited.
It makes no sense.
It's going to make sense when we're done with it. Go.
I know. The spirit of vengeance is called La Seona. Okay. It's this lady named Melissa who was out one day washing her clothes and like taking a bath in the river.
Was she naked? Oh, she's taking a bath. Yes.
Taking a bath in the river, yeah. And unless she's one of those weirdos that wears a swimsuit when they bathe.
Okay.
And so she's like taking a bath when this like random lady walks up there and goes, "Hey, your husband's in your house right now sleeping with your sister." No. She didn't know the lady, but she was so distraught. She ran home. When she got home, her sister wasn't there, and her husband and daughter were just taking a nap. But she was so worked up about it that she murdered them and burned the house down with her in it. No, I'm sorry. She murdered them, burned their house down, went to her own mother's house, stabbed her own mother to death. And while she was stabbing her mother to death, for whatever reason, her mother cursed her to become a spirit. But she ended up becoming a spirit of vengeance because today she's seen as a beautiful woman who strolls around and then tricks men into following her to a secluded location where she then reveals, like she like lifts her hair up and here she has a rotting skull and she murders them. Now,
yeah, not a vengeful spirit at all. You're right, Eli.
Okay, vengeance of wrongdoing, right? Sure, some weird lady came with like sleeping with your sister, and it wasn't. And she murdered her whole family because of it.
You yelled through most of that. It all broke.
Yeah,
listen. There was no.
Take a breath.
She's not even taking vengeance for the wrongdoing or the retribution because some random hobo lady told her husband was sleeping with her sister. She got there, she wasn't, so she's like, "Fuck it." She murdered her family and her mother, and then she's like, "I'm gonna keep murdering men." Not a spirit of vengeance.
Hobo lady was.
Who?
Donkey lady.
The worst. Donkey lady was never a hobo.
Maybe the hobo didn't say right now. She just said your husband is sleeping with your sister, like in general. In
the legend, she says right now, which is why she ran home to catch her in the act.
That's a game of telephone. We don't know exactly what happened.
Your guys' all ability to just turn something off. I'll never. It's crazy. It's crazy.
She's literally murdering people.
Not in the name of vengeance. I'd argue she's just a murderer.
No, she was murdering in the name of vengeance. She thought she had the information that her husband was cheating on her. She killed everybody. Got cursed. Like she said, came back.
You're sleeping with my sister. People. You die. This child is probably a product of the. Oh wait, no, she would have given birth. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So she killed her own kid.
Yeah, she killed the kid. Then she went to her mom and said, "You knew about it. You're dead." I don't know why she didn't kill the sister. You left that part out. So let that.
She did it. She did it.
She did. That's
like the third story on this list where it's like the person who actually wronged them. They're like, no, they let them go.
She didn't wrong do it. The husband was the one.
Her sister was sleeping with her husband,
but she wasn't. That's the joke,
right? So, wait, what? I don't
the sister didn't do anything wrong.
Neither did the husband.
Exactly,
and neither did the son.
Right.
So what's she getting vengeance on? Nothing.
The world. It sounds like.
So, that was the list. All giving me shit aside. None of these are really spirits of vengeance, right?
No,
some are.
Some are. Most of them.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in all of you.
I'm sure this last lady, the murder of her husband was for vengeance.
Yeah.
But then the rest of them, she was just an excuse for bad behavior. Like, you know what I mean?
Just because she was executing on bad information doesn't mean she wasn't seeking vengeance. That's exactly what she was doing.
Then the point of also murdering a bunch of other random people.
After she was killed and cursed.
Yeah.
Because she was killed and cursed.
Yeah, but that would make her spirit of vengeance. I'd say she's a cursed spirit.
Aren't a lot of cursed spirits of vengeance?
But isn't she taking vengeance on men for like right? Like that was the whole point, was like her husband was cheating on her, and it drove her crazy.
She never killed her sister.
She didn't get a chance to because her mom cursed her before.
Well, she's a spirit now. She didn't go kill her. She kills a bunch of dudes. Why can't, as a spirit, why can't she go kill her sister?
Do you want to talk about ghost rules?
Yes, I'm the one that made the ghost
rules. She's not able to kill anybody but men because that's part of the curse of her spirit. It's not like she's like a spirit and she can just go kill whoever she wants. Like,
seems like an oddly specific curse.
Well,
a very oddly specific curse.
Right, because she'll
Aren't they all?
Because the curse, if you think about it, like she'll never be happy with a man, so because she has to kill them all.
Okay, I would agree, but I would not consider that a spirit of vengeance. The Furies, right? That was vengeance. They actually took revenge on people.
Nick Fury?
Oh, you're the worst. Hey, Dave, tell me about the Wicked Wild.
Well, we broke Eli this evening. He's tapped out. He's done. We do thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this. All joking aside, just understand that we're talking about these legends and lores, and there's some horrible lore in there about violence and domestic violence and those kind of things. We're certainly not trying to make light of those things, but these are, as far as we can tell, folklore and legends that didn't happen, but they're all based around these relationships. So I would just preface everything that we said with, we understand that real terrible things happen in the world, and we're certainly not trying to make light or marginalize those things. On that point, if you do like the show, we would love to have a rating, comments. If you have any feedback about this episode or any of our episodes, you can reach out to us on our social media, X at Wicked While We Are, Slasher at Wicked While We Are, Instagram at Wicked Wild Pod, or you can go to our website and learn about our hosts. Our website is thewickedwild.com. If you prefer to get your podcasts in the video formats, we are on YouTube. You can go search the Wicked Wild Podcast, and you'll get both Campfire Tales and our movie reviews in the main show in our channel.
I would say this, and this comes out, people, and I'm talking to all of you listening right now. I want you to respond to every social media we have or the email, and all you have to say is Eli was right or Dave was wrong. And you put one of those to let us know. Those are your two options to let us know if you agree with me or if you think Dave was wrong.
It wasn't just me. There are 3 other people.
I'm blaming you, Dave.
Okay.
You led this circus.
We know who he's taking his vengeance on. Let's just keep it all in one. Let's keep it all in one person.
This is vengeance. Not some milk guzzling goat lady throwing pebbles at passerbys,
killing people or drowning people.
Yeah. Some guy mad because a pebble hit his tombstone. I'd hate to mow that cemetery.
What I would like to ask for while we're doing it is, I'd love to get a fan art of what you really think of the donkey lady. Just send us in your fan art. Love to see that. If it's good, I'll put it on a shirt and put it up on our website.
That's all I want is a donkey lady shirt. I'd buy that shirt so fast. But it's got to be cool.
Yeah, and see, that's why
which is impossible.
I would never do that.
What? You make donkey lady like cool spirit of vengeance, like kicking a car over a cliff.
I'm not saying I don't have the capacity. I'm saying ethically, I would never do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean ethically? Don't you think that donkey lady deserves a little respect?
No,
nothing at all.
But Squawk does.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You people make no sense.
Any other questions?
No, I am done. I'm done for any of you. Donkey Lady better spirit of vengeance than Nicolas Cage, though.
No. Dave.
She's probably a better actor.
Think of your choice. Think of your choices right now.
I will say this. I would 100% back blonde, frosted tipped Nicolas Cage coming back on a tirade as a hippie, cult killing, hot rod driving, killing machine more than I would a donkey lady who's going to come over and kick your car.
Wow.
100%.
Wow.
She's basically the parking lot at Walmart. What do you think?
Yeah.
Did you compare Donkey Lady to a Walmart parking lot?
Yeah, because she dents your car up. That's it.
Yeah, she's a grocery store cart. That's what she is.
I would say, if anything, she is a Golden Corral parking lot, because
there's no shopping carts.
When you pull in,
you didn't mention any of the diarrhea in her story.
Hold on, no. Because when you pull into Golden Corral,
when does she give you
just
food
like
poisoning?
When you first see Donkey Lady, you're like, I don't know what's going to happen in here, but I know I'll be fulfilled when I'm done.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. I also read
I will agree with you that both that story and Donkey Lady do have something in common.
They make me sick.
Both full of shit.
They make me want to throw up. Is that?
Well, hey everybody, we appreciate listening, and remember, apparently after tonight, you can call anything vengeance. You just, if you die because someone ate an extra jelly bean, and you're like, I'm gonna come back and kill all Cottonelle toilet paper packs because I didn't get jelly bean. It's accepted by this group.
Yep.
Yeah, if you do anything above what could be taken out of a basic dent shop, you're in.
There's also the hoof scratch marks too, so it's not just all
dent shop and auto body detailing.
Do you know how expensive detailing is? Just saying.
It's less expensive than being dead.
I just I don't understand how you don't get that. Like in all those stories you did, and like people died. In her story, the worst you have to do is buff out your door.
No, people disappeared that they think may have been connected to her.
Who?
Isn't disappearing worse than dying? Yeah.
You talking about that Donkey Lady?
Yeah.
No, she just beat up cars. There was nobody disappeared.
And she chased people out of the woods.
Oh well. So. Still not as bad as getting killed. So.
Okay, let me ask this. Do you think the Jersey Devil is better than the Donkey Lady?
Yes, everything is better than the Donkey Lady.
Jersey Devil never killed nobody. Jersey Devil killed nobody.
What do you mean it never killed nobody? I thought it did. Like, who knows? No. How do you know what it's done?
The same way I know Donkey Lady. You know what? Bye.